At the end of the day, the point down is something that you do at towards the ending of the fight, and if something's going good, if the fight is entertainment, or if you're winning, you give the other guy a shot. Like the moment is a moment for a reason. And the belt is called, the blessed man forever, or what you guys want to call the baddest mother effer. If the belt was the DMF, the dumbest mother effer, then maybe I would get sucked into it. But it's far from that, man. It's
Yeah.
like what I told you, and I told him. It's he told me that, and I was like, bro, it's. He talks about being a boxer. I mean, that's not very much boxer IQ-ish of him, but we'll see what happens.
He is a legend of the fight game. He is the BMF champion. He's one of the greatest featherweights of all time, and he is one half of the fight that I am most looking forward to in 2024. It is my old friend, Max Holloway. Max, how are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, man. Obviously, we are literally just basically a week away from the fight. I assume at this point camp is wrapped up. Now it's just about getting the weight down and everything. But how was everything? How was the camp getting ready for Ilia Topuria?
Great, man. Everything went great. Everything feeling good. Like you said, we're a week away. You just focus on that weight part, and we get to do the fun part. So I can't wait for it.
I know you've spoken about this in the past, Max, but your team is kind of like the unheralded great team out there. Like they're not banging the drum, getting on camera, saying, look at me and things I'm doing. But how much credit do you give your team for, always getting you ready for these big moments? Because obviously you're the one stepping in there, but you have an army behind you of guys that are getting you ready, your strength conditioning, your head coach, guys that, again, they're not necessarily household names, but we know that what they've done to prepare you for your fights.
They're just the best. They're the world's best. Best in the world, and you don't know because these guys got to get forced. I mean, I hate when the countdown comes down, or we had a media day right before I came out. It looks like UFC is like doing the whole shebang bang again, or with like media days and coming out to Hawaii. I saw my schedule. I think so. We're doing an open workout again. I'm like, oh my gosh, these things are back. I kind of liked it when it wasn't, but I understand it. So at the end of the day, my coaches are the best, man. I gotta like twist their arm to get them in front of a camera. None of them want to jump in it. I just kind of like book it, and then they up and be like, hey, look, hey, these guys are coming, and you got to do an interview. Okay, thank you. So that's the kind of
Yeah.
guys I got to deal with.
Absolutely. I haven't spoke. We spoke before UFC 300. I know, again, you're literally days away from fighting Ilia Topuria for the title, but can I just ask, because I've said I think that might be your UFC 300 fight, might be the greatest moment in mixed martial arts history. I've watched that clip hundreds of times. Like, I love it. Like, I still seek it out and watch it. Can I just ask, at this point, from people sending it to you or just running into it, how many times have you seen that final moment with Justin Gaethje?
I mean, I seen it a lot, and then a lot of people are getting out of hand with these eds of them. So, at the end of the day, I saw the normal clip, I saw a bunch of crazy eds, and I'm just happy that I got to be on the right side of that clip. I got nothing but love for Justin Gaethje. Shout out to him for taking the fight. Fighting on UFC 300, he had everything to lose and nothing to gain, and we went out there, and I was able to have that moment on such a big card, and I'm just blessed.
Absolutely. And to that point, listen, I know you're not a guy that sits around and looks at your record and your resume and looks at videos, but I know they did the video with like your best BMF moments. Is it weird for you because like we all talk about these moments internally. We all talk about this in the industry, these great Max Holloway moments, but I'm sure in your career you're not sitting at home like, hey, let me look at my highlights. You know what I mean? So it's like I know you appreciate the compliments, but is it just weird because like people constantly want to talk about these moments with you?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to sit down and smell the roses. I talked to you long enough. But my UFC career was when people start sitting down and chilling and relaxing and feeling like that, then the game goes past them, and I don't want this game to fly past me. I'm stood here. Fighting the best in the world. And I can't wait. We're back here. I have the opportunity to become a two-time world featherweight world champion again. And I can't wait to go out there and do my thing.
Absolutely. We spoke before UFC 300, as I mentioned, and again, the focus at that time was Justin Gaethje, but I asked you, beating a guy like Justin Gaethje would give you a lot of options, and you even said to me back then, this is going back to whatever it was, like March or whatever, and you said, That featherweight title. Like that's what you wanted. At that point, obviously Ilia had won the title. You said that's always what you wanted. You said it right then. So after the Gaethje fight, like how quickly did you have it in your head that you were gonna, I know because you bulked up a little bit, right? You put on some muscle to get ready for lightweight. How quickly after UFC 300 did you just kind of start getting ready for Ilia Topuria? Because I know that's what you wanted even before that fight.
I mean, very quickly, first guy I called out, and I said was the man sitting ringside. So at the end of the day, I got to enjoy my family. We went on a trip, but then as soon as I got back, it was go time. We didn't know when he would be ready or when he wanted to fight, but we was getting ready because you never know what happens. UFC calls you, and you just gotta stay ready for opportunities. So at the end of the day, we had a little bit quite quick turnaround. The fight doesn't look like a quick turnaround, but we was training. We was in the gym. We was getting ready because I already knew what I wanted.
Yeah, be honest though. Are you missing lightweight life a little bit right now as you get into that weight cut? Are you missing lightweight life a little bit?
I mean, I wouldn't say missing it a little bit. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I got to eat. I got to eat a little bit more, but this is life. At 145, 155, everybody keeps saying, "Oh, you look good at 55." I'm like, yeah, because I'm a taller dude. I'm a tall dude for 145. That's why I look different. That's why I look skinny. So 10 pounds is a big difference, but at the end of the day, it's no problem. I can't wait to go out there, do my thing, and show the world.
Absolutely. One of the reasons I ask you that question, Max, because again, I could play. I have, as the kids say, I kept receipts. I remember in that interview we did before 300, you're like, Ilia Topuria, that's the one you wanted. When Ilia, I know you guys did like the co-interview, and I know Ilia's been doing a lot of media leading the fight. When he says things like, you didn't want this fight, he had to force you into this fight, you wanted Michael Chandler. I'm not trying to dog the guy, but like, we know that Max Holloway doesn't shy away from anybody because, you didn't have to fight Justin Gaethje at lightweight at UFC 300. You could easily fought somebody else. But when he's like, what do you make? Because like we have video proof. Like we have a million videos. You called him out right after the fight. You said that's the one you wanted before the fight. When he says like he had to force you into this fight, do you laugh or are you like, what are you talking about?
I mean, it's funny, like he says that, but then you can go and click. There's an interview of him saying that he won't fight me if the BMF title wasn't on the line. And the last time I checked, the BMF title is not on the line. So if anybody got forced to fight, it looks like him. He came out of his own mouth. He said he's not gonna fight me unless the BMF title is not on the line. And it's not, buddy. So I guess he played himself on that one.
Yeah, it's wild because throughout your career, like I know you as an incredibly respectful guy, and generally speaking, opponents haven't tried to overly trash talk you because we should know you're a warrior. You step in there. You don't, you're not that guy. You're not that dude that's going to sit there and say crazy things to get attention. What do you make of Ilya? Because like Ilya said a lot. Like he's talked a lot. At this point, are you just sick of hearing him talk?
I mean, at the end of the day, if that's what he needs to get himself to the fight or to the fight or whatever it is to the date, then so be it. Like some people, that's what they need. They need that self confidence. They need to build their self confidence some way. And if it's pumping his chest and slapping his chest and being like I'm the man, then that's him. You can't take it away. And he got pretty far using that technique. So at the end of the day, if he's using it for this fight, so be it.
Yeah, and to your point about the whole like what fight you wanted, I don't know how deep it got, but like there was a real world I believe where the UFC did reach out at I think it was UFC 303 when Conor fell out, and there was a world where they did say like, hey Max, do you want to step in and fight Michael Chandler? And I know your focus was always Ilia Topuria. Am I right about that? Like I don't know how deep it got, but there was a very brief conversation, and you, from my understanding, always said like Ilia is the one you want. You didn't want to take anyone else. You wanted Ilia.
Yeah, I always wanted to fight Ilia. Like, yeah, you heard the murmurs here. Nothing ever came to light though. So at the end of the day, I was during that time I was in Japan, chilling, getting big, enjoying sushi with my family. So yeah, the talks was just that's just what it was. It was talks, and it wasn't even something that I didn't even wrap my head or even give an idea like, oh yeah, this is what we should do, because like you said, I wanted Ilia Topuria, I wanted the featherweight title. I want to be a two-time world title, and the undisputed title is what I wanted.
Yeah. Can I ask? I mean, again, at this point, you've done the research. Your coaches have done the research. Can I just ask, like, what did you think of Ilia's win over Alexander Volkanovski, a guy you obviously have a lot of experience with? I know there's maybe a bit of a narrative that maybe Alex came back a little too soon off that knockout with Islam. And I'm not certain. I don't want to take away anything from Ilia. Incredible performance. You cannot fault him for that. But can I ask, like, when you watch that fight, do you see the same Alexander Volkanovski you fought, or is there a world where you think maybe he did kind of rush back in there, took that short notice fight, got knocked out, and then, like, I know he wanted it so bad, and I know how fighters are, like, it's hard to talk you out of fighting.
I mean, at the end of the day, we can be like, oh, if he did this, he did that. At the end of the day, his team, Alex has a great team around him. They thought that he was ready, and they went out there and fight, And even if he was compromised, Ilia went out there, did his thing. He landed a shot that ended the fight, and that's a hard thing to do. He still got to do that part. So we can say he said, she said, and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, Ilia did what he did. He showed up to the fight. Alex showed up to the fight, and he was just on the winning side. So you can't take nothing away from the guy. I'm not going to. He's a dangerous man, and I can't wait to go out there and shoot octagon with him. And prove a lot of this naysayers wrong.
Yeah, it's funny because you've had every kind of opponent in your career: strikers, grapplers, wrestlers. Again, not a lot of guys that try to trash talk you, but again, this is a different instance, and I'm sure you heard or you've been asked about this. And I know he talked about it a little bit when you guys did that face to face. Like he said, starting the fight, he wants to walk to the center and do the Max Holloway point to the center. And I know Daniel, your guy, the daddest man on the planet, Daniel Cormier, talked about it. He's trying to bait you into this. He wants to try to bait you in. Again, you're a very methodical guy. You're a very analytical guy. You don't get drawn into anything. He says these things. You obviously know what he's trying to do, though, right? Like, he's just trying to bait you into these moments. And will he actually do it? I don't know, but does it even matter if he does?
I mean, no, not really. Last time I checked, it's just so crazy to me. He called the title fake. His fans call the title fake, but they're still asking for this fake title to be on the line, which is like it's just mind-boggling to me. And even with the moment, the point down moment, I don't think he gets the gist of it. At the end of the day, the point down is something that you do at towards the ending of the fight, and if something's going good, if the fight is entertainment, or if you're winning, you give the other guy a shot. Like the moment is a moment for a reason. And the belt is called, the blessed man forever, or what you guys want to call the baddest mother effer. If the belt was the DMF, the dumbest mother effer, then maybe I would get sucked into it. But it's far from that, man. It's
Yeah.
like what I told you, and I told him. It's he told me that, and I was like, bro, it's. He talks about being a boxer. I mean, that's not very much boxer IQ-ish of him, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know you said, like, obviously this moment is going to mean a lot to you, and actually, going back out there and winning a title. I know this is a question probably better served for after the fight, but you've obviously fought the best throughout your career. How much would it mean for you to recapture that featherweight title at this stage in your career? I mean, again, because you could have easily, after beating Justin Gaethje, you could have easily said, "Hey, give me another top lightweight, and I'll get a lightweight title shot." Like, I don't think anyone would have complained about that. But how much would it mean for you at this moment to recapture that belt? Because I know that does mean a lot to you. Again, this is what you wanted even before 300.
I mean, it means a lot, especially with the way my career went, after that third fight with Volkanovski. A lot of people were saying that I should change weight classes or altogether I should just retire because, it's never ever going to happen. And I guess a couple years later, we're here and we're a days away and we get to find out who has the last laugh come October 26th. So I can't wait for the opportunity.
You use the word weirdo to describe Ilia Topuria, shadow boxing in the interview. He bought a BMF title, Max. Like, he bought a BMF title just so he could wear it and show, like, what, like, I laugh because, like, I think weirdo might be the best possible description, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I wasn't being disrespectful to anything or using the word. That was the first thing that came to my mind. And I was like, bro, you acting like a weirdo. Like, I mean, he was like, shadow boxing, kind of touched himself on top of a red light interview. He was like, and a lot of people. I need to clear this up. I need to thank you for bringing that up. A lot of people is giving me heat about teasing how teasing how he speaks English, and I was like, "How blah blah." Like I was teasing. I wasn't teasing that he was speaking English. I know he speaks like 5 languages, guys. I have one. I speak one language, and I have a hard time speaking English. I have a hard time saying names. I understand how hard speaking one language is. I wasn't teasing his language. I was teasing. What I was teasing was that he sounded so scripted, and then every time he went off of his scripted words, he started mumbling or he says, "Shut the fuck up, motherfucker." I'm like, brother, you're so scripted right now. That's how I tease him. I was like, bro, speak. Stop using your scripted lines. And everybody was like, even an MMA guy, MMA journalist was like, "Oh man, talking about this English guys and this Americans or guys that speak English, blah blah blah." I'm like, brother, it wasn't that deep. I was just talking about what I was saying. I was calling him out because like you could tell. Watch the interview. Everything he was saying is scripted, and as soon as it wasn't scripted or he didn't know what to say, he didn't have an answer for it, he'd either say, "Shut the F up, mother effer," or he'd start stumbling. So that's why I was teasing him. Guys,
Yeah.
I don't talk very good English, and this is my only language. So stop attacking me about that.
Yeah, he better hope the teleprompter doesn't go down. Is all you're saying, right? Like the
Yeah,
teleprompter better not go down.
exactly.
Real quick before I get you out of here, Max. Again, your focus 100% is on Ilia Topuria. Just gonna ask because again, like we know, the guy that's coming to Abu Dhabi and weighing in as the backup. Can I just ask what you thought of the rise of a guy like Diego Lopes? I know you probably haven't spent a lot of time thinking about him, but he seems like he's a contender on the rise. I know recently Volkanovski said maybe they could fight at UFC 312 because might be a bit of a quick turnaround for you or him to fight and then go to Australia in 4 months. But what do you make of a guy like Diego Lopes as far as a contender in this division?
He's an animal. He's an animal. The way he been fighting, taking fights in short notices, showing up in those short notice fights, and just a beast. When I saw that he was when he was the backup, I was kind of blown away for a little bit because of all the talk that Alex was saying that he's the next guy up in line and this and that, and then. But also, it makes sense that Alex ain't no backup fighter. They told him he get the next title fight, but it's just weird. It's just weird that they're telling Alex he has the next title fight, and then they have another guy the backup. But I guess so. If you look at the heavyweight division, anything can happen in the world. So at the end of the day, it's I think Diego Lopez is a promising upcoming star. I mean, he's not even upcoming anymore, right? He's doing what he's doing, and it's cool. Congrats to him to having that moment.
Yeah, I mentioned to you before the Gaethje fight, I said, Max, everything goes well in this fight, you're going to have a lot of options. And that's where you told me, like, the option you wanted was Ilia Topuria in the featherweight title. Can I imagine even recapturing this title next weekend? You win, you become champion again. There's still those options, right? Like we haven't seen the last of you at lightweight. We haven't seen the last of you in that BMF title because I know like Connor's talked. I know Connor came. When you got Conor McGregor coming to your defense, things are going wild right now. You got Conor. Obviously, I know. Like I talked to Jorge Masvidal who's coming back, and you might be his favorite fighter. Like Masvidal was like, I love Max Holloway. That guy's an animal. And he's like, maybe one day we could mix it up as like the two BMF champions. Can I imagine like even after this one, like there are options. So can we imagine like whether it's 2 fights down the road, you're not done as the BMF. You're not done at lightweight, right? Like there will be a world where we will see you do those two kind of things again, right?
For sure. I think so for sure. At the end of the day, in this sport, the thing that you want is options. And I go out there, I get my hand raised, man. What is the saying? The world is my oyster. So I can't wait for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know you said this would be a top 3 moment for you, and I love that you always put that in perspective because I know beating Jose Aldo was like one of the coolest things ever. That's a guy you idolized, the guy you loved. Again, UFC 300. But, like I said, like becoming a 2-time champion and being and kind of silencing a guy that just does not seem to stop talking, I imagine it's going to be pretty satisfying, right? Like,
it's going to be amazing, man. It's going to be amazing. I mean, with all naysayers, all daughters, with all his, the fan base that he's bringing in, the supporting that he has, it's going to be great, man. I can't wait to go out there and just prove to the world, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And the best is blessed, and October 26th, I get to show the world again.